きましょう。
これがスーパーサイヤ人ってこんな世界があったなんてよ。
All right, buckaroos, let's go ahead and get one of these no item runs in. So you kind of look on the opening shot there of the squad. This is one of those teams, the God Goku team, right? Like I said, no item run. This is one of those teams where, like, you look on Twitter and you see someone post a team like this, and it's like, how do you lose with this team? And this is one of those teams, right? You've got a double God Goku who, you know, dodges. Basically, he's dodging 60% of the time. I don't think I've ever had a situation in which God Goku, there's a dodge there, by the way, where God Goku doesn't get his 3 orbs. Like, I can't really remember a time since he's come out I haven't got him 3 orbs and his 60% chance to dodge. And then, of course, if you get him the vaunted 6 orbs, he has the guard, right? Which, again, I feel like I'm getting the majority of the time. But, like, you've got God Goku. You've got 2 of them. You've got AGL-LR Gohan with guard. You have Tech Carnival Goku with guard. You have Beast Gohan with guard. And a lot of these units are doing just gobs of damage. And in something like Super Battle Road, it's just like, it just feels like you cannot lose. I mean, all you need to do is get 2-3 super attacks from some of these units, and the opponents cannot do a significant enough amount of damage to you. They just can't. To kind of round out the team, I mean, there's not much to discuss here. It's just like maximum power versus, you know, this Extreme Super Battle Road stage. I have one, you could maybe argue one sus option on the team, and the Tech Bardock. And I honestly just kind of threw him on there for shits and giggles, right? I'm like, well, he seals. At least he raises defense on Super, right? He could be a fun character to run, so I decided to run him. So again, you know, you're taking 183k there, and that's, I mean, that's, I don't want to say it's a lot, especially when you're rocking, you know, 700,000 HP in a lot of these teams. This particular team is actually around 650, and that is because I'm rocking a couple of TURs on the team, including Path to Power Kid Goku, who I only have at 55%. So that obviously comes into play a bit there, you know, lowering the HP a bit. If all of these units, if Path to Power Kid Goku was rainbowed, I mean, we'd probably be up around, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't even care to speculate, but I think we'd be over 650. I think it's probably safe to say that. But again, a lot of these guard units, dude, you get them in Extreme Super Battle Road. If you've got 200k with guard, you've got enough to tank, right? You do. You've got enough to eat at least a super attack. Now, if you start, you know, taking 2, 3, 4 super attacks, I mean, sure, you're dead. I mean, there is a situation where if the RNG does not go your way, you could easily die. I mean, no question about it. The only problem with that is Extreme Super Battle Road. If you don't give a shit about no item runs, you just pop a Whis item. Hell, you could even, you know, pop a King Yemma, you could pop a Ghost Usher, and you're good. You know, on the turns that the turn after you take damage, you could pop a Senzu and you'd be just fine. So, especially when you're rocking just units of this caliber. There certainly are some other setups you could run. I just feel like God Goku, man, he's the best TUR that we have over here on Global. I would argue even over on JP, he's the best TUR they have as well. There's just no other team you're running here. You're running the pure / Hybrid Saiyans team. There's just that's it. And that's the team you run. I think there are some setups. So I believe the setup I got the original no item run for this stage, it was actually pretty challenging. I'm fairly certain I did run a double Beerus leader skill, and the main star of the show, of course, was AGL LR Full Power Frieza, right? He was the absolute star. That last stage against God Goku, remember, he's getting guaranteed crits against Goku, so he just absolutely decimated the field. At the time, I think I had him 90%. I had pretty good luck on his banner, and he was a 90% very juicy boy. The other setup you could, of course, do is the double Kid Goku setup. I think he does function pretty well as a leader, right? So if you run him on rotation, on both rotations, remember, he's Rainbow Orb changing, right? So he's doing a lot for your team. Not to mention the support that he's giving Youth and Dragon Ball Saga allies, right? You could rock a pretty nasty Kid Goku setup, I would imagine. Again, you're rocking two, you're rocking one on either rotation, and then you're able to get the 7 orbs to get the 8% damage reduction, man. That really adds up in an event like Super Battle Road. The damage reduction you guys will find really takes a lot of the oomph, a lot of the mustard, if you will, out of the opponent's super attacks. So when you have a unit, say, let's just say, I remember the example back in the day, AGL Zamasu. AGL Zamasu only has damage reduction. And he really still to this day wouldn't take, a metric shit ton of damage on anyone other than, Texcell Max. He's still not going to take a ton of damage on super attacks. Now, he's going to get fucked up on normals. But from my experience, the higher defensive numbers, you tank a bit better on the normals. And then the higher damage reduction numbers, it really takes a lot off of the super attack. So it just kind of makes sense. It's a bigger percentage you're taking off of the super attack, right? I mean, it makes sense. You're taking 40% damage away. If Broly's hitting you for 1.2 million, now he's only hitting you for 800,000. That shit adds up, right? Now, obviously, both is better, which on this team you get both. Rocking, again, a double Kid Goku setup. Even just rocking one of him, he is such an incredible unit. You look at everything he does for you. He is just so goddamn incredible. Now, one thing, this is definitely a situation that could be scary, rocking the double God Goku setup. This God Goku that we're up against, the opponent God Goku, he's STR, as you can see. So if you're not in a situation where you can get his 6 orbs, you could potentially be in trouble, right? Because he does have a 60% chance to dodge, which means 40% of the time you're getting hit. Now, another thing in Extreme Super Battle Road is, of course, you can attack lower, you can seal, you can stun. You have a lot more in your arsenal in Extreme Super Battle Road, even if you decide to go no items. And again, I think anyone who has God Goku, even 55%, and you have any modicum of respectable, decent units, I think you're going to be just fine on this stage, for sure. So in the comments below, I'd love to hear your guys' team setups and just kind of see where you guys went with it. I mean, you could probably, using items, you could probably get it done if you had no other choice with Fizz Beerus. You probably could, right? I think you have enough units to get it done. You could even rock Fizz Beerus and Fizz Kale. Remember Fizz Kale? She's a 60% damage reduction unit. What is it for is it for the first 6 turns? I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've used Fizz Kale. Just double checked. It is indeed for the first 6 turns. I mean, imagine that and you pop an Icarus or a Whis item, right? She basically has, all of the damage reduction, right? 100% damage reduction or 95% damage reduction. And Beerus, I think, has a competent enough level of defense where you could get it done using items. I don't think no items would be possible, especially against this last God Goku boss. But, one thing that I think goes under the radar these days is the attacking power of units. It's not like it's meaningless at all. You know what I mean? People act like defense. It's only defense. And yes, defense does matter. And I would definitely argue it matters more than offense. But when you have units like, Fizz Gohan, for instance, Fizz LR Gohan, who's just doing gobs and gobs of damage, and God Goku himself, right, who's doing a lot of damage, triple supering. and able to raise his attack as well as his defense on super attack. It's really nice, right? It helps you kind of blitz through these bosses for sure. So sometimes the best defense is a good offense. So we've got enough of a mix here to where, you know, again, the opponent is just not going to be able to do damage, and we're going to be able to do lots of damage to the opponents. But people act like you can rock a full team of AGL freezes and get W's in these stages, and you just can't, right? You know, certainly units like AGL Hachan, like, obviously they have their place, right? Obviously. I mean, he's a ridiculous banner unit. But you really need, like, a Kid Goku who can do good damage to complement a unit like that. So, like, yeah, defense is great, and I'm never going to argue defense is more important, but you have to have some damage dealers as well. But just like that, guys, we wrap it up. So like I said a few minutes ago, let me know what your team looked like in the comments below. Let me know if you struggled with this stage at all. I'd wager you probably didn't. But remember, you know, ESBR, 7 stones plus this stone here. You get the Battle Mastery. You can pick up some Elder Kais or some box space. It's good stuff, right? Slap a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Love you guys, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.